Some of the music was designed to break me earlier on, the Barry Manilow music. As I said to my brothers and sisters, I'm just about dehydrated in the past couple of weeks of shedding a lot of tears. And over the years, anytime I talk about Mandy, I get very emotional, and they all know why. I love her to death. She is the best thing that's ever happened to me, bar none. For anything I've ever done in my life, she's been the reason. She's gorgeous. Today, now I'm going to go down with me, because if I head down this way, we'll be here an awful long time. What a wonderful ceremony in such a beautiful setting. To think if either Mandy or Cole had come down with a case of cold feet, we could have been out there playing golf. The day would not have been a total loss. But we are here to celebrate Mandy and Cole's beginning of their new life together. First, I'd like to congratulate Ron and Regina. You should be very proud of Cole. From the first time I met Cole at my sister Charlene's house, he's always presented himself as a very well-mannered, polite young man, and I appreciate that. I was truly impressed when he asked to have Mandy's hand in marriage. Of course, this is a reflection of you as parents. I repeat, you should be very proud. Then I took him down to Kentucky for our annual golf trip. Well, let's just say I'm glad he's made a good first impression. Cole, as I said before, what happens in Kentucky stays in Kentucky. You don't even know what I know about your trip. So Mandy, if you ever need ammunition, just come to me. Mandy, you are such a beautiful bride. And why not? Mandy was well known during her daycare days as a little girl with all the beautiful dresses. Thanks to Joanne, to Lindsay, to Heather, sitting here. Heather's not here. Her cousin who's out in Alberta. To all my brothers and sisters, they all contributed in making sure that Mandy was a fashion plate back when she was in daycare. And there was no one more beautiful then as there is now tonight. The beautiful dresses. Of course, the teachers at the daycare had to take me aside one day and tell me that as much as they loved the beautiful dresses, they'd only wish that Mandy would keep them on. It seemed that Mandy thought it was quite appropriate to remove all her clothes whenever she wanted. And she got over it before she joined the Brownies and later the Girl Guides, because I don't think they would have put up with it. I would have had an awful lot of explaining to do as to why I allowed that. Dresses and bathing suits were Mandy's favorite fashions. One of her favorite dresses was the one that made her believe she was Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. And Mandy was very much like Dorothy then. She was always wondering what was over the rainbow. But as always, she realized there was no place to come. Of course, the bathing suits were the style du jour every vacation we took, from our many trips to Orlando, Daytona, Virginia Beach, Memphis, and you know what, I can't resist it. You know, I have to know that I did this, and every town in between. There was always a swimming pool or an ocean that Mandy lived in. She loved the water. She loved dolphins. With Lindsay, that was because of you. She adored you. She just absolutely adored you. I couldn't believe how well you two got along. She would never stop talking about you at home. When we were coming down to see you, she was just exploding in enthusiasm. And it was fantastic to see these two kids together. But I remember, getting back to the Dolphins, I remember Mandy waking up in her beach view room in Virginia Beach one morning, seeing the Dolphins out there on the horizon, quite a ways out. And she wanted to dive off her 5th floor balcony into the water because she knew she could get to those dolphins. She was bound and determined to do it. But when we did get down to the beach, we got into the water, and she was still bound and determined to swim out there. And she was a fantastic swimmer, but they were just a bit too far, because she really, really wanted to swim out to see them. Anyways, eventually she did fulfill her dream, and she was able to touch one of those bottlenose dolphins at SeaWorld in Orlando. And it brought tears to my eyes when that happened, because I remember Lindsay told us that she did that. And I thought, how lucky could she be? And I only dreamed that that could happen for Mandy, because she loved him so much. There's so many people who have played a major part in Mandy's life, and I can't thank everybody. Everybody knows who they are in a special way, and if I begin to, again, go down that path, I'll lose it. So, all my brothers and sisters, I love you very much. You've been such a great inspiration to me, to Mandy. I learned so much about parenting, and I thank you. I haven't, I don't say it to you, but since we're in a public setting here, and everybody's here, it's on record. I truly respect and love every one of you. Long before there was this phrase BFF, and for anybody over 30, it's, I think, best friends forever. Where'd she go? There she is, Amber Unwin. Mandy and Amber, again, they met in daycare. They were inseparable from the moment they met. She could not have asked for a better friend growing up. They were always there. They were always together. And as somebody said earlier on tonight, I know it came from here, and I believe, Jeff, it might have been you might have, even though you've been separated for a time, when you get back together, it's like no time has ever been lost. And it's the same with those two. And Amber, I love you so much for that. Yvette, you came into Mandy's life at the right time. Always there with a smile, or a fashion tip, or a dance. Do you remember Wiggle It? Just a little bit? There was nothing that you guys wouldn't do. But most of all, you were there with an ear to listen, a shoulder to lean on, and a hug that always made the person feel better. And I know Mandy loves you for that. And I thank you for that. To everyone in the wedding party, you did a spectacular job. And I've only been, I've been around you a couple of times, and I can see how much you really care for Cole. Again, I alluded to it earlier on, Cole. I think you're a very upstanding young man. I really, truly admire and respect you, and I know how much Mandy loves you. I can tell. I don't know anything about chemistry. I refuse to take it in school. But people chemistry, I know. And I see it. I just see the happiness. And I want to see it 40 years from now. Okay? So to everyone in the wedding party, again, thank you very much for making this a special day. But whoever idea was to have Ron and I play an hour and a half of football in 30-degree heat on Iverwind Stadium, at our mature age, one day, I hope that you get to experience the same thing that we did. Andrea, I know you're as proud as I am right now. And I know what it takes to raise a child. It takes good parents. It takes good guidance. And I know that you've done exceptionally well, and I'm proud of you for that. Steve, thank you very much for contributing as well. I see Tyler there. You're in good hands. You're a cutie. You're just an absolute charm. Mandy's so fortunate to have you as a little brother. And you know what? She was so good with all the kids when she was growing up. It was incredible. She had magic in it. The kids would just gravitate towards her. You've got a really special sister. And it seems like Niagara Falls is a big part of Mandy and Cole's life. I like to think that it started with the trips that Mandy and I would take with Jerry, Heather, Lindsay. Joanne wouldn't come. I don't think she ever went anywhere. However, she does go to the Barry Manilow concerts. And again, I'm plugging that again because this week was our 30th anniversary of the first one. Okay. That's not even written down here, by the way. It just doesn't have to be. That's right. There's never a bad time for that, is there? Thanks for the music, by the way, Cole. And I apologize to the people at our table. I wasn't listening when you guys were talking. I was listening to all the songs. Thanks to them, I gained a love of roller coasters. And Mandy was fearless. And by the time she was 6 years old, she was going on the highest, the longest, the fastest, the scariest, at Cedar Point, at Canada's Wonderland, at Busch Gardens, anywhere there was a roller coaster, there was Mandy. And these guys here. And if only we could have quit our jobs back then and just went around North America riding roller coasters and finding the scariest ones. Mandy would have been the one to lead. Lindsay would have been there as well, just coaxing her on and pushing her forward and doing that. Anyways, she rode this Magnum at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. It stood, if I remember right, over 200 feet high. And I was holding on to her, not to save her, but because I was terrified. And as I walked up with her today, I was just as terrified. But I knew I was in good hands. And Cole, you can be sure that you are now in good hands as well. On behalf of my family, I want to welcome you. You know, as you've seen over the past couple of years, the door is always open. You are always welcome. You're a wonderful person, and I wish you all the best in the future. And one last thing, I made it through.